So as you guys know, I picked up a 2017 Yamaha R6, as you guys can see over here, not too long ago. Have not done any mods to it yet, but that is gonna change today, and we're gonna do the first of one of 4 or 5 main mods that I like to do on every bike that I get. And that one thing that we're gonna be doing today is crash protection. Now I know, you and me both, we're never gonna crash. We're not gonna have to worry about that, so why would we need crash protection? Just do it, guys, just do it. So there are 4 main points on the bike that we're gonna wanna have crash protection on. And those 4 points are the front forks, the rear swing arm on both sides. Obviously this is kind of blocked off by the massive exhaust, which is going to get replaced as well. The frame here in the center via frame sliders, and the bar ends. With those 4 points, you should be pretty protected in all of the main low slide crashes that you would have. And also, if you just happen to lay your bike over because you're weak and you haven't hit the gym and didn't get those gains, it'll protect you there as well. That's what happened over here. I was just not getting enough gains over here one day, and I just laid over the R1, and that's what this little scratch right there is. I did not have my frame sliders on there at the time. It was a poor move on my part. Here are some no-cut frame sliders that I have on the R1. It's a fairly short distance over here to the frame. Doing frame sliders where you cut the fender so that the actual slider goes right into that engine bolt are gonna be your best option. Obviously, no-cut frame sliders are better than no sliders at all, but for the R6, we are gonna do frame sliders where you cut into the fender. Now, thanks to TST Industries, which is the same company that I got my TOS exhaust from way back in 2013. They sell that TOS exhaust. They sell it for a few other bikes as well. But TST Industries is awesome. They're based down in Florida. They make a lot of parts themselves, such as fender eliminators, integrated turn signal taillights, closeout pieces for fenders. So like here, this, it's kind of dirty right now, but this is from TST Industries just to get a little closeout there where the fender came off. And they also sell other parts like levers and things like that for your bike. Basically, if you're just getting your sport bike and you want some parts, they're probably gonna have all the main things that you want. But thanks to them, they hooked me up with some crash protection for the R6. They've got full crash protection packages that you can buy for basically any sport bike. And here is what we've got for the R6. So this is going to be the front fork sliders. These are the frame sliders. These are the rear swing arm spools. And then here are the bar ends. These 3 here will all take about 10 minutes to install all together. The frame sliders will take a little bit longer, and that's because we're gonna have to take off the fairings on both sides of the bike and then do a little bit of cutting. And I wanna take that slowly. So all of your crash protection installed in about an hour, not too bad. And it's a great thing to do on your bike as soon as you get it. Don't put it off like I did with my R1, because if you go down or you lay your bike down when you're working on it for the first time or something like that, you're gonna regret not getting some crash protection on there right from the start. So we're gonna be working on the R6 today, get all that crash protection on. Make sure you check out those links in the description for all the parts that we're gonna be putting on the bike today. Check out TST Industries, they're awesome. I've been working with them for years, and they make and sell really cool parts. These are the Womit Tech crash protection pieces, all very, very nice, high quality, and we're gonna go ahead and start on the rear of the bike with the swing arm spools. The reason I'm gonna start there is because that's gonna give me the ability to prop up the bike with my pit bull stand, as you can see right here, and have a little bit more clearance underneath. So let's get started with that one. So as I mentioned, the first 3 pieces that we're gonna be installing here are really, really simple. Should take less than 10 minutes. These are the rear swing arm spools, and you're gonna be installing them in the rear hole here on the swing arm. There's 2 holes here. You're gonna be wanting to put them on the rear one. Just screw them in, 5mm Allen head, all the way in. And we'll get our torque wrench, and these are gonna be at 10 foot-pounds. And moving over to the other side, same thing, rear hole, get it started there, 5mm Allen, torque down to 10 foot-pounds. And we can get our stand, make sure that the sides of the stand are adjusted to the right width, and prop it up. Just like that. So there we've got the swing arm spools installed, bike propped up, and we can move on to the next one. We will do the fork sliders next. Now here for the fork sliders, we have the 2 sliders here. One with the protruding section here is gonna go on the right side, and the one with the concave inside goes on the left side. 2 bolts, and a rod to go through the center. We'll stick the bolt in for the one on this side and screw it in here and slide it in. And on the other side, we'll stick the bolt in and connect it. Just like that. I got another 6mm Allen that I've got on the other side. We'll tighten this down. There we go. And finally, for easy crash protection install number 3, these are the WomotTech bar ends. The bike comes stock with some bar ends, but these are going to give us a little bit extra length here to fully protect these levers and get outside the fairings just a little bit more. And they also have a little bit better of a material here on the outside. So all we have to do, unscrew the ends right here, pull off these stock ones, get the new ones on there, and that's it. All right, so we've got the swing arm spools installed. We've got the front fork sliders installed there, looking good. And now we have the bar ends installed on both sides of the bike. Gotta move on to the long, difficult part for the frame sliders. TST Industries makes it easy for you guys. They include a sheet that you can print out that is a template for you to tape onto your fairing so you know exactly where to drill. So here is for the left side, and then we have the right side template. Then I've got a 2 1/8 inch hole saw. So then we have the actual frame sliders here. You got the right side, which is gonna be the shorter one, and then you have the one for the left side, which is gonna be the longer one. If you wanna know how to take off the fairings, your manual should tell you. If you don't have your manual, you can check out my oil change video. I'm just gonna do a little time lapse of me taking off the fairings right here. I will link down in the description though to that oil change video with the exact timestamp for taking off at least the left fairing. The right side is pretty much the exact same as the left side, just reversed. Alright, so now that we've got the fairing off the bike, we are going to separate these two pieces of this assembly just by unscrewing these 4 bolts right here. And I've got it on a towel so I don't scratch up the fairing. So now I'll take my right fairing template right here. We're gonna have to peel back this foam just a little bit, and we'll fit this template in right here inside of this slot. So I'm gonna fold this over first. Should be perfectly on there, and we can actually use the adhesive from the foam to kind of keep that in place for now while we get some painter's tape and secure this down. There you go. Now we'll take an 1/8 inch drill bit, center it on this hole that we have on the template, press it in, cross your fingers and drill through. Perfect. We can go ahead and peel off the template, flip this around. We're gonna put some painter's tape around this hole just to make things cleaner when we do our cut. And you're gonna wanna go in from the outside so that when you make your cut, the cleanest cut is on the outside of the fairing so we don't have any frayed edges. So I will swap out the drill bit, stick on the hole saw, center it on, cross my fingers and drill. Go. Oh yeah, look at that. Now what we can do now is take a blade and clean up this edge on the inside here. And then I've also got a file here just so we can get some last remaining smoothness out of this edge. I'm gonna go shake off this towel and then we can reattach the two pieces of the fairing together. That looks freaking good. All right, so now that this is ready to go back on, first, we gotta get the frame slider on. All right, so we're gonna be putting it on this one right here. Got a 12mm socket. And make sure you only do one side at a time. So we get this side done and then move on to the other side. All right, so we'll take this bolt out, leave this spacer in right here. And we're gonna take our shorter frame slider right here, put it right back in, and then with a 17mm, screw this on. And then we can finish it off with a torque wrench at 30 foot-pounds. Now the moment of truth. Does the fairing fit back on? There we go. That is the right side all done. That looks freaking awesome. I am so happy with how that came out. Looks freaking factory. That is beautiful. Now we get to do it again on the other side. And there it is, all finished, finally. The left side, I didn't get the hole 100% placed perfectly. It touches on this side and you've got a little bit more of a gap over here. And this cut here along the edge, very close. So there's just a thin piece of the fairing going across this outside area. Not a problem. I mean, it looks fine unless you're really looking for it. You don't notice. But just a note to be careful here. But I think that looks pretty awesome. That is the Wamatech frame sliders from TST Industries. Again, you can order these pieces separately from TST, or you can order them all together in a crash protection package for your bike. This is my R6, this is the 2017 R6, but they've got setups for all different sport bikes. Just check out their website down in the description. But yeah, that is all complete. No worries if I'm stupid and I lay my bike down. Everything should be pretty much protected. So if you got any questions, leave those down in the description. I'll try to answer any of those that you guys leave. Big thanks to TST for sending these out. I think this looks real nice and I'm super happy for it. So that is my #1 mod that you should do for your sport bike. We got a few more that I really like doing to my bikes and we'll do those in the future. Hopefully that exhaust is coming soon. Cross your fingers. I know you guys are excited for that and I know you guys are excited for first drive on that thing right there. Gonna be happening in the next vlog, so you got that to look forward to. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, if it helped you out. Subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.